Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this Thrive Themes tutorial, you're going to learn how to put together your entire sales funnel from cold leads hitting your landing page all the way to happy customers inside of your membership website. Timestamp table of contents in the description, along with some other helpful videos and playlists to actually putting together the copy for your funnels. Here we're going to be very technical, click by click, just setting up the back end side to make sure that everything is working properly. Now the funnel that we're going to be creating today is just going to be a basic video sales letter funnel. So this means we're going to create a landing page. We're actually going to create two different sales pages. I'll get into why you'd actually want to do that when we get to that phase. Then we'll go through your checkout sequence options, your email sequences, and of course, your membership website. So again, timestamp table of contents to skip around to the most relevant part to you. And now let's go ahead, jump into my screen. And the very first thing we want to do as we're setting up our landing page is actually start in our email software. No, it's counterintuitive, right? You actually don't start with Thrive. You want to start with your email marketing software. So I have two examples pulled up here. I have ConvertKit and I also have Mailerlite. So I'll start with Mailerlite. And inside of Mailerlite or whatever email autoresponder you're using, you're going to need to go to your subscribers or automations and look for a place where you can do your tags, segments, or groups. The reason you need to set this up first is when we're putting together a landing page, we need this ready to go so we can tell Thrive Themes which list to put our new leads on. So here we go ahead and click on groups, and then we can create a new group. You can see I already have a group for everyone, and then I have a group for just prospects of the funnel that we're going to create. Now quickly inside of ConvertKit on your subscribers dashboard, on the right hand side here, you're going to be able to create some tags, and this is where you're going to want to set up a tag or group for the people who are entering their name and email on your landing page. So make sure you do that, because otherwise you're going to be halfway through your landing page and then go back to your software, your email software, in order to get this to work. So with that, now we can actually start building our landing page. So I'm inside of my WordPress dashboard here at the Thrive Themes dashboard. And the next step of setting up your landing page is, again, not actually building the landing page, but coming over here to Thrive Leads to set up your leads box, because we want to set up that little pop-up where they're going to enter their name and email. So this is where we're going to configure to make sure that people are added to the right group, list, tag, segment, depending upon what your autoresponder calls it. And we'll scroll down here and we want to create something called a Thrive box. So we'll go ahead and click on Add New. We'll give this box a name and go ahead and add the Thrive box. And then we're actually going to be able to edit what it looks like. And again, this is the pop-up that's going to show up on your landing page. I know it sounds counterintuitive. We're building a landing page and we haven't even gotten to it yet. So let's go ahead and create our form. We'll give our form a name, create the form, and now we can go ahead and finally edit the design. So what I really like about Thrive Themes is it has a bunch of different designs here for what your pop-up is going to look like, but I really like to keep it simple and basic. All you need to ask for on your pop-up is the email, and if you really need the name, you can ask for the name as well. So here you can see all the different templates that they have for the pop-ups, and I'm actually just gonna choose a really basic one just to save time, and it's not all that important that we have a super fancy looking. So I'm just gonna choose this guy. This is nice and easy. So in the headline here, all we really need to do is tell people to enter their name and email. We'll go and click on the button text here. So we can click to edit the form elements to actually start changing what the button says. And of course your button text could be download now, enroll now, register now. This is going to be for a video sales letter. So we're going to say something like, watch the on-demand training, or get the presentation, or watch the video now. So I'm just going to say watch the video now and go ahead and select done. We have our template all ready to go. You don't need to be more fancy than this. And now we need to connect it to our service. So you can see here in this particular example, I have ConvertKit and MailChimp already set up. But if you're going to be using something else like GetResponse or Mailerlite or pretty much any other solution, Thrive Themes does have a native integration. So I'm just going to click on ConvertKit for time purposes here, and then it's going to ask me which mailing list I want to add these people to. And it's really important because at the beginning, we went and made sure we added a tag, group, or segment. That's where you're going to be deciding where those people are going here. So this is going to be for a YouTube webinar, and that's all I need to do. They're going to be added to the correct list. We'll get to email automation later in this tutorial, and we're going to make sure we're collecting their email, and we'll ask for their name as well. No, it's really not all that necessary. And then for our post opt-in action, we're actually going to leave this alone for now. When we create our sales page, we're going to come back and drop in our sales page URL here because we want people to go to our first sales page, and then we'll talk about the second sales page. We'll go ahead and click on save. So we've got our pop-up all ready to go, so we can click save and exit, and now it's time to actually create our landing page, right? To do all that stuff before we actually create our landing page. So let's go ahead and go back to our dashboard here, and now we're going to go over to our pages and add a new page because we want to create a new landing page. We'll go ahead and drop in a title for our landing page. We'll just say free training today. And we'll go ahead and save it as a draft, and we'll launch Thrive Architect. Now, something that's great about Thrive Architect, of course, is that they have a ton of templates to choose from. And this is a blessing and a curse. A blessing in terms of if you want to be fancy, you can be fancy, but really, you don't need to be that fancy when you're setting up your funnel. The copy is the most important part. So we'll come up here and click on Change Template, and now we have all these template options. We're just going to quickly filter by tag and click on Lead Generation, and you'll see that there are a lot of template options here. You can go through them, you can figure out your brand colors and all that fun stuff. Here we just want to be quick and dirty. We want to get this up and running, and so I'd recommend going with a template like this because it's very simple, or a template like this. I think those two are actually my favorite ones. And if we even want to be more streamlined, we'll go ahead and choose something like this, flat lead generation. I'm actually going to choose this template because you really do just want to get this up and running as quickly as possible. The copy is the most important part. You can always come back and start getting fancy with the page design. Now, speaking of copy, of course, I recommend having written out your landing page copy ahead of time. If you're not quite sure what the heck to write on your landing page or how to even format it or why I chose this format over something else, you can go ahead and check out the link in the description to a full video that walks you through how to write your landing page copy. So the first thing I'm going to do here is go ahead and delete the top, and I do have a new image, but I'm going to copy over my headline. So you see I already have my headline ready to go, so we'll just copy and paste this over. And of course my headline is way too long for this small space, so let's just go ahead and click and drag it up top so we have plenty of space for the headline. It'll cover the entire page. We'll go ahead and center the text, and then we can either blow up the text, make it super big in your face, or bring it down a little bit. And I think that's big enough. And layout and position, we can actually change the internal. Let's go ahead and first what we want to do is click one, lock the box, and then we can go ahead and change the internal padding. Or what we can do is unlock and then manually change the padding here. So I'm just going to add 20 on each side to bring in the text a little bit. That's not enough, so we'll jump ahead until when I find the right number. There we go, we'll keep it at 150. And the reason you want to do this instead of manually hitting enter to take down the lines is because when it reformats for mobile and you've manually hit enter instead of using this feature, it's going to look really, really bad, or worse than it does here. So that does it for our headline here. So let's go ahead and start on our bullet points. So I actually want to add some bullet points. So I'll click over here and use the bullet point function, or I guess I forgot, they call it a styled list. So go ahead and drop in our styled list here and click on it. So now I'm actually going to change these check marks. So I'll go to main options. You'll see this lock means that when we change one, all of them will change at the same time. We definitely want that. So we'll go ahead and choose this one, select, and now they've all changed. And of course we can increase or decrease the size. So let's bring the size up. Oh, not that much, maybe about there, because we're gonna change the size of our text as well. And you'll see that there are some locked options with our text. So we'll go ahead and bring our text up, and I think that's good enough. So now let's go ahead and start copying and pasting our bullet points. So I'll jump cut ahead to all of the copying and pasting because you don't need to watch all that. And just like that, we have our 3 bullet points, but of course they're way too close together and we need to add one more. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and try select the entire styled list, and we'll go ahead and add one more. So that's the way you want to add one, to make sure that everything stays locked in. So when you make changes to one, it makes changes to all. So we have one more bullet point, and I'll go ahead and finish this off by moving the alignment to the left. And now what I want to do is actually put some more space in between all of these elements because they're way too close together. So what we'll do is we'll select one of the text boxes. You can select any one of them, and then come over here, not main options, but layout and position, and then we'll just click and drag this down a little bit so that there's a little more space in between each one of the bullet points. And we'll go ahead and remove this text because we don't need it, or we could use it as disclaimer text. So if we put it underneath here, we could just say something like, "We will not spam you." And we can go ahead and remove some of the spacing from the top so it's closer to the button, like, just like that. And speaking of the button, let's go ahead and change the text to "Watch the training now." And we'll go ahead and click on the button text, layout position. It looks fine. You can always change the colors and whatnot. You can customize anything you need or want. And then we'll come down here to animation and action, and we want it to open a Thrive Leads box. So we'll go ahead and click on edit. The trigger is someone clicks, and we want them to open a Thrive Leads box. So we'll click on that. And then from our drop-down list, we can scroll all the way down and click on YTM demo, which is the lead box that we set up before we started putting together our landing page. So now that we have this, we can go ahead and make sure we save our work. So we have our headline. Oh, let's go ahead and change this to "What you'll learn on the training." And the only other thing we need to do is actually change out this image. And now that I've clicked on it, I realize it's not actually an image, so we need to go ahead and bring in an image element. That's actually just a really nicely designed content box, which is kind of cool because you can put something that looks like this together using just Thrive themes. You don't actually have to go make your own image, but we already have one. So let's go ahead and click and drag here. We're going to put the image right on top, and it's going to open up. I'll quickly look for the image of the training and insert it into the post. And then we can go ahead and delete this element here because we don't need two images. And now we just have our image. So let's go ahead and center it and remove this. You can also remove the descriptor text by just toggling this option right here. And then let's go ahead and center it, layout and position. This is one of the things where Thrive Themes isn't always the best when it comes to layout and position, but we'll go ahead and keep on dragging it up. And then we could make the image larger or smaller by clicking and dragging here. So one of the things we could do is make the image a little larger like that, and then we could go ahead and take our button, because it's below everything, and put it below the columns, and put this below the button, and then we'll go ahead and change the button positioning so that it's a little higher up. There we go. All right, so is it the most perfect landing page in the world? No, but we made it very nice and quick. And of course, you'll be able to do, I hope this just gives you a quick insight as to what you can actually do with Thrive Themes and putting together your landing page relatively quickly. So now on our landing page, we're good to go. All we need to do is save and exit and actually publish it. And then we're ready to create the second page in our sequence, which is going to be our sales page. I'm going to go through that one significantly faster now that you've seen what you can do with the drag and drop editor inside of Thrive Themes. And of course, if we click on Watch Training, here's our little pop-up. And when they enter their name and email, they'll be added to the correct group list tag segment in our email autoresponder. So I'm going to go ahead to click to edit page and just publish it. And now that it's published, let's go ahead and put together our sales page because we need to actually make some sales, right? And then we need to take that URL and add it to our pop-up that's on our landing page. So I'm going to go to all pages here. I'm not going to build this one from scratch. I'm just going to show you the elements. Scroll down and go to a sales page that's already been set up. And this is the page that shows up right after someone enters their name and email on the landing page that we just put together. So all you really need on your video sales letter page, and if this is a text sales letter page, awesome. Then you can go ahead and use Thrive Architect and add your images, graphics, images and graphics. They're the same thing, right? Add your text, image, graphics, what have you. And then for a video sales letter page, really this is all you need. You just need a headline, and then if you want, you can have a subheadline. This is an embedded Vimeo element. And then we have our buttons. Now this looks a little funny because I have a couple of buttons here. I wanted to show you the difference between the two different shopping cart softwares you could use. And if we look at a live preview of this page here, you can see limited time training. Something that's very important with this is that you don't want your videos to autoplay on your sales pages anymore, because most browsers now will either block autoplay, or worse, they'll actually just mute the video. So if someone clicks and tries to watch the video, then all of a sudden they're going to miss whatever the first part is, because the video would have started autoplaying, but they won't actually hear the audio. So I recommend creating a thumbnail similar to what you're looking at here, where it just says click play, and it's really obvious that someone has to click, and then the video will actually start playing. Now you'll notice this is sales page number 1. And on the first sales page, I recommend not having any player controls. But on your second sales page, which we're going to put together now, you actually want to have player controls, and you want this button to show up the entire time, because unless you're using some advanced email marketing software, you're actually not going to know how much of the video has already been watched. So you don't want to keep driving people back to this page where they can't skip ahead, and because essentially you don't want to ask someone to watch the video over and over again. If you're asking them to come back to your sales message for the third or fourth time, just let them skip ahead. And they already know you're trying to, hypothetically, they're already figured out that you're trying to sell them something. So just go ahead and have your button, one button, right? These 3 buttons here are when we get to our shopping cart phase, you'll see how these play out. So now that we have our sales page done, we'd go ahead and duplicate this page with a video that has the player controls. So you would make this exact same page just with player controls instead of no player controls. Now I'm going to go ahead and save my work here, save and exit, even though we haven't really done anything. And I'm going to go back to my WordPress dashboard and now go back to Thrive Leads, because now that we have our sales page completed, we have that URL for our pop-up. So let's go ahead and edit our pop-up here. We'll edit the first one. You can add different variations if you want to split test. I don't recommend doing that within the first couple of months of running traffic to your landing page, because testing your headline is going to be infinitely more important. So we'll go ahead and click on our button here. We're going to edit our integration. We'll go to post opt-in action, redirect to a custom page, and we will paste in that URL of our first sales page. If you just want to have one sales page, then I recommend just have the sales page with the ability for people to skip ahead and just have the button showing up the whole time. You can also get fancy and use something called Thrive Ultimatum, which would be a countdown timer on your sales pages, but I won't get into that because that's an advanced feature. So once we save and exit, I'll go back over to incognito mode. You see we have our landing page. Someone can click, enter their name and email, they'll be added to the right sequence, and then they'll go to the free training page. Now the next part of this, of course, is going to be your shopping cart. And this is where the hard part actually comes in. So I have 2 recommendations for your shopping cart when it comes to just selling digital products or selling services. The first one is Wave, and the second one is ThriveCart. So I'm going to go through both of those examples here. So this first one actually goes over to something called Wave Accounting, and your shopping cart would look something like this, where it just has the price, they can enter their billing information, and then you have the option of a pop-up letting people know what the next action is to take. It's not going to integrate with any membership website, and it doesn't really have integrations with any CRMs, but it does allow you to take payments. You actually have the option to ask people to save their credit card information. So especially if you're doing services, this is a great free solution, keyword being free. Now the next shopping cart software I recommend you check out is ThriveCart. It's a one-time fee, and while it does have its drawbacks, it is very simple to use. You can set up the shopping cart that you're looking at here in less than 30 minutes your first time round. The big disadvantage of ThriveCart is that it doesn't do very well when you embed forms on your actual site. And just as a illustration of how slow it can be, I'm going to go ahead and click on Enroll Now. I'm not going to edit this at all. This is actually how long it takes for the pop-up to show up on your site. So if you want to do pop-ups like this, you just want to keep in mind that it's going to be very slow, and this is what a pop-up looks like. It can also have a countdown timer. This countdown timer can just reset if you want to do false scarcity, or it can actually say tell the person, hey, sorry, the offer's not available. That's something I really like because it's actual real scarcity. And as long as someone doesn't clear their cookies, this will actually work. Now, when it comes to the checkout page, this is also ThriveCart. And on this sales page, I'll go ahead and exit this out. If we click on this button, we'd go over to the actual Thrive shopping cart checkout. And this is about as complex and as much customization as you can have with the actual checkout process. So inside of ThriveCart, then I'll go through Wave Accounting. It's very easy to set up your product. I'm just gonna go ahead and click on Edit Funnel so you can see how that shopping cart was set up. You go ahead and enter your product name. You can change the URL. You tell them what the price is going to be. If you need to calculate sales tax, or if you're doing high ticket, you can send people invoices. If you want an order bump, that's something you can turn on and off. So essentially what an order bump is it's saying as if they check that box, you're going to give them an extra product and they're immediately going to be charged an extra whatever the cost is. In this particular example, it's $40. It's a great way to have an option for people to essentially pay you more money. So why not, right? It integrates with Stripe, PayPal, Authorize.net, and then of course you can actually set up affiliates. So we go over here to fulfillments. You can actually integrate this with a ton of different membership softwares. It works with MemberPress, Wishlist Member, Teachable, Optimized Press, and Digital Access Pass. There we go. That's all of them. Something that I really like about ThriveCart is it actually directly integrates with all of those. So if someone gets a refund or someone actually purchases an upsell or downsell, they'll automatically be added to that in your membership site. No silly emails to click to add to your membership website or set up a new account. It'll actually integrate directly. You see here there are only 4 options. You already saw the pop-up and you saw this, which is the actual page. You have one more option for a 2-step checkout, and then you can actually embed it on your WordPress site, although I don't recommend doing that because it takes so freaking long to load. You can also set up your success page, customize how the page looks to a certain extent, and then also it has extensive integrations with lots of email autoresponders, so you can change what emails people get based upon the upsells they purchase or whether they abandon the shopping cart, whether they are first time or second time customer. You have a lot of options there. So there's a link in the description to a playlist that goes through the pros and cons of ThriveCart if you're interested in learning more, as well as an affiliate link if you just want to check them out. Now, the next shopping cart software, Wave Accounting, is something that you can use for free. So you go to Wave Accounting. Once you set up and verify all of your account, you'll be able to use something called checkouts, which is the checkout page you saw earlier. And all you need to do to create a checkout is click on Create Checkout, product or service, your price, and then if you want their phone number or an address, and then a success message. And then of course you can set up Wave Accounting to tell you every time you've made a sale, so you can go ahead and give them access to the membership website, go ahead and send them an onboarding email or whatever you need to do. Wave also does have some limited integrations with something called Zapier. So if you want to connect it to another service that you're already using, that might actually be possible. But again, remember, Wave is very basic. It's pretty much just collect the payment and then you need to do the manual work. But the advantage of this is that it is 100% free. So now let's go ahead that you've collected your payments. Let's go ahead and talk about your membership website. And we're briefly going to go over what you can do using Thrive Apprentice. So I'm back in my Thrive dashboard here, and I'm going to click on Thrive Apprentice, and I'll just kind of preview what you can do with your course. The big disadvantage of Thrive Apprentice is that it's only a content management system, which means it's great for organizing your membership content and providing one place for all of your members and customers to get their content, but it doesn't actually protect that content. So in terms of making sure that you have membership levels and you have packages, you're going to need to use a different solution like MemberMouse, Wishlist Member, or MemberPress. Personally, we are using MemberPress right now, and we're halfway happy with it. I think you're just going to have to compromise no matter what membership software you wind up using. So here I just want to show you on the back end, it's very easy to set up a lot of different courses. So when you first create a course, you're actually going to be presented with this page, course details, where you give your course a name, the URL, and then if you want to give it a cover image, you can do that as well. And going down to the advanced settings, if you're going to have a lot of courses or individual products, you can actually get pretty detailed on how you categorize them. So you can have categories and tags of your different digital products. And then you can, of course, restrict access. If you turn restrict access on, it will give you an option down here to say which membership level this applies to. And of course, these membership levels are going to be set up in your membership software. So it's very easy to just say, okay, people have to be logged into this one or logged into this one, or they can be either one. So this is actually a free membership website. So I'm going to go ahead and preview the index page so you can see what it looks like. Now we have 2 products on this particular site. You can have your different product categories up here. And then I'll go ahead and click on Start Now for the free version. And you scroll down here, you have your different sections and your different lessons. So if we click on just a video lesson here, you'll be able to see that you can have either a video or a title image up here. And then this area is just as flexible as Thrive Architect. So if we go back to our dashboard, let's go ahead and edit the module that we were just looking at. So I'll click down here for digital business quadrants, and we'll go ahead and click Edit with Thrive Architect, and you'll see it's very easy to set these pages up. Something that I really like about Thrive Apprentice is you can set up your membership pages without them clogging up your actual pages list. Some of the other solutions out there, like OptimizePress, when every time you create a lesson page, you're actually creating a page that's going to show up inside of your listings of pages, which means all of a sudden you go from, I don't know, like 10 or 20 pages to like 50 or 60, and it gets really hard to find stuff. So here you're easily going to be able to edit this section. So you'll see these parts up here are static, but if we want to add any elements in the content section, we could add another content box. We could throw in a couple other videos or a button. So you have full customization on this portion. Now, when it comes to editing the rest, there's actually a different interface where you can choose your style settings for everything that's on the right side. And then I'll go ahead and exit out of this and say leave. I don't want to save anything that we just did. When you mouse over your lesson, you can go ahead and click on edit content. And here you can easily give your title, description, and then of course, if it's going to be a video or an image, you can go ahead and drop that in here. So you actually don't even have to go through the Thrive Architect process. You can literally just copy and paste all of your videos in very, very quickly using this simple interface and have your entire course ready to go. So that does it for the membership side of things. I know that's a very brief overview, but link in the description to a video that actually takes a deeper dive into creating your entire membership website with Thrive Apprentice. Now, the final part of our sales funnel process, if you're still watching, go ahead and hit that like button. This has been a long, in-depth one, is actually making sure that you set up your email sequences correctly. So remember, at the very beginning when we set up our landing page, we made sure that we created a group, tag, or segment for whoever's being added to our email. So now what we want to do is make sure that our emails are sent out over a 5 or 7 day period, and that they're driving traffic either to the first sales page or the second sales page. And to quickly illustrate how your email marketing might be set up, we're going to go through ConvertKit and Mailerlite. Mailerlite is free up to 1,000 subscribers, so if you don't already have an email marketing software, that's the best place to start. And then ConvertKit, if you already have a sizable email list and you're looking to actually take your automations to the next level, you can go ahead and check them out. Affiliate link in the description to both. ConvertKit starts at $30 a month, whereas Mailerlite starts around $15 or $20. Now, inside of ConvertKit, I'll go through them first, and then I'll go through Mailerlite. So hopefully between these two, it will kind of help you figure out what to do in your email marketing software. Both of these handle it a little differently. So this email marketing sequence starts when someone joins a form. So essentially the form is the name and email collection we had on our landing page. So once someone enters their name and email in on that particular landing page, the first thing we want to do is give them a tag. And so the tag is actually going to be presentation view. So this is something you can set up to say, hey, if we know someone's actually clicked a link in an email or they've gone to our sales page, let's go ahead and say they've seen it at least once, right? So once we tag them as someone who's actually on the list and hit that page, we can go ahead and give them a follow-up sequence. And this follow-up sequence is typically going to be anywhere from 5 to 7 emails. This demo only has 4. And the very first email is the only email where you want to link to the first sales page. So remember, we want to set up 2 sales pages. We didn't go over duplication just for time purposes, but the duplicated sales page that has the buy now or enroll now button there, the whole time and has the player controls is what you're going to want to link to emails 2 through 5 to 7. And the reason that we want to do that is because we're not using something crazy advanced like Infusionsoft or Ontraport, where we're tracking every single link click and integrating it with something like Wistia, which is $100 a month for a video player that allows you to actually track and put cookies on people's pages, use cookies on people's browsers in order to know where in the presentation they left off. Since we don't know where they left off, we're just going to give them the benefit of the doubt and allow them to skip around. And so you definitely want to make sure that you write out these emails ahead of time, and 5 to 7 emails is all you need. Link in the description to a video that actually walks you through the 5 email marketing template that's being used for this particular funnel. And that's really all that you need when it comes to your email marketing. You can always get more advanced, but you don't need to in the beginning. We're just sending out a couple emails, getting people back to that second sales page. Now, inside of Mailerlite, you're also going to be clicking on automations, and then I'm going to go through a demo of one that I've set up in a previous tutorial. And this one works where the automation starts when someone joins a group. So at the very beginning of the tutorial, when we set up our landing page inside of Mailerlite, we created a group for the prospects of people who are entering their name and email on the landing page. So you pretty much want a group for each one of your funnels. So once they join this group, we instantly want to send them a welcome email that links them back to the first sales page. Then we're going to set up a delay. We wait 1 day, 0 days, 1 day, and then we'll send them a follow-up email. Now, something that's really cool in Mailerlite is you can actually start setting up workflow automations that say, hey, if someone didn't open the previous email or they didn't click the previous email, send them this email instead of that email. Now, I'm bringing this up as something you can do in the future, but when you're just getting started, just set up a very basic sequence. Email, day delay, and then you can always add complexity later. I just want to show you that this is something that's really easy to set up inside of Mailerlite. So in this particular instance, if someone doesn't open the second email, then there's no point in sending them email 3, 5, and 6 because they haven't opened it yet. So we can go ahead and drop them into a different sequence, or we can actually just try changing up the second email and resending it to them to see if a different subject line might actually get them to open and read it. So that is all there is to it to setting up your sales funnel. Go ahead and hit that like button if you're still watching. I sincerely hope you got some value out of this video and you have plenty of ideas on all of the technical side of setting up your sales funnel from scratch. Again, timestamp table of contents in the description to easily jump back to any portion as you're setting up your own funnel using Thrive Themes and Wave Accounting or ThriveCart and getting Mailerlite or ConvertKit set up, whatever software you're using. And then also make sure you check out those playlist links that go over the copy, because the copy really is the hardest and most important part. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you got some value out of this video, subscribe for more in-depth marketing tactics and strategies and sales funnel walkthroughs just like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next, keep building the business you love.